Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Shawn. Thank you so much for that. If anyone wants to request any type of video, topic reaction, commentary, review, re-review, tier list, ranking, playing a video game for an hour, a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are in the info box. CashApp is also a thing, because people have asked about that. But the links are in the info box, and the reason I fluster there is that, like, depending where you're at, sometimes it's on the side, sometimes it's on the bottom, or YouTube just loves to change stuff for no reason. But feel free, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. And Shawn wanted me to do a commentary on Caddyshack, the 1980 comedy. It's been a while since I've seen this, but this should be fun. I'm paused at the beginning. And let me just do this. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. So we have the Orion logo coming up. Which I know Orion was gone for a while. I think it came back for a little bit, and they released films like the Belko Experiment, I believe, but I don't even know if they're still around anymore. But I mean, that's a company that released some successful films, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, RoboCop, but sadly, there were other films that didn't do well. Remo Williams, which I really enjoyed, but that didn't do well. Other flops, and by the time we got into the 90s, like when they tried to get RoboCop 3 out, and that got delayed, it just went belly up. But yeah, Caddyshack, the 1980 film that was the first film directed by Harold Ramis. May he rest in peace. Who, of course, would direct National Lampoon's Vacation, which I really enjoyed. Club Paradise was a flop, but I think that's a fun film with Robin Williams. Groundhog Day, which was a hit. Analyze This and Analyze That. Of course, we have the Kenny Loggins song, I'm Alright. Fun song. Honestly, his song in the second film is like the only good thing about that movie. Like, Caddyshack 2 is awful. Trust me, it's an awful movie. But the one thing I liked about that movie is Kenny Loggins' Nobody's Fool. I probably say I like that song more than this song. Although I do like this song, it's a fun one. But Nobody's Fool is one of my favorite Kenny Loggins songs. Sadly, if it was not in that film, I think it would be a bigger, more well-known song. So we have our family here, where I think, is it Michael O'Keefe? Yeah, there's Michael O'Keefe. Which I don't know what else he's done. I mean, I could look at what he's done. I know he did this film I've heard of called Split Image. Afterward, I think James Woods was in it. And they got a lot of Cheerios. You got Cheerios there, you got Cheerios at the table. Is that half their food's Cheerios? God, why is his dad such a ball breaker? Calm down, dude. At least the guy's working. He could be like, shoot up a school or something. I mean, if your kid's working, then be happy about it. Damn, calm the hell down. Yeah, Michael O'Keefe, the star. Because they mentioned all the big names already. And that's definitely what helped the film work, is because you got Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy Chase. So you're usually with someone who's at least pretty funny or pretty entertaining. Now, sadly, they don't share a lot of the screen together. I'm trying to think, is there a scene where Rodney Dangerfield and Bill Murray share the screen or have a conversation? I know Hal Ramis added the one bit with Chevy Chase and Bill Murray, which I know there was a fear because there was a rivalry in Saturday Night Live, and I don't know if this was this after the fight they had where Chevy Chase came back to host and Bill Murray and Chevy Chase had like this big fight struggle pushing each other around. So I don't know if this was before or after that. Ah, here's Chevy Chase. So I'm listening to that dialogue. You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good. See, the reason I'm listening to the dialogue, number one, like I haven't seen the film in a while. But Chevy Chase, when he was on the right cylinders, he did do so well at being deadpan. Just being this deadpan delivery. I guess you could say he was kind of the Ryan Reynolds of his day. Of course, some people would say that's an insult to Chevy Chase to compare the Ryan Reynolds, but I did that's kind of deadpan delivery. Yeah, this is the na 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 na. Be the ball. I have to wonder if this is inspired by Star Wars. Use the Force. So you have the thing where you think he's full of it because he can't even get the clothes, but then when he does this, you're like, what the hell? No, 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 no. But yeah, Chevy Chase. Some people nowadays may forget just how big of a star he was in the 80s. Because you look at his series of films, I mean, Caddyshack was a hit. National Lampoon's Vacation was a hit. Even European Vacation might have been a bit of a hit, but enough to make Christmas Vacation, which that definitely was a hit. You had Fletch. You had Spies Like Us. You had at least a known film, The Three Amigos. You did what, Funny Farm? I remember, that's an entertaining one from what I remember. And then when he got into the 90s, man, things just kind of changed. Now, of course, we have the Gopher, which is, of course, you can easily tell, a puppet. Which I wonder if you would do this kind of thing nowadays, where you take a comedy like this, but then they add such a ridiculous, ludicrous, sci-fi type of thing with this, puppet gopher thing. They did a lot in some of these movies, like Meatballs 2. There just happens to be an alien there. And it's weird, like, if you did this nowadays, people would call it so stupid, so dumb, ridiculous. What the hell were they thinking? And yet, people who like this film like me would just kind of accept it. Yeah, it's a gopher that We just says I don't know. Do just give it leniency or just something about it? You're leaning not too far in between. And Bill Murray, he's probably my favorite part of the movie is him and the way he plays his character. Because if I call all the golfers, it'll lock me up. No, the golfers. Say sorry for the pauses as I listen to the dialogue. Oh, this is Brian Doyle Murray, who's related to Bill Murray. I think Brian Doyle Murray's experiences was one of the inspirations for this film. Of course, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in a lot of Bill Murray films. He was, what was the mayor at Groundhog Day? Also, if you remember Wayne's World, the guy who owned the arcade, Noah's Arcade, that's Brian Doyle Murray. I just looked at this pitchfork right at this guy's neck. If you see the wide shot, you see the pitchfork's like right here, right by his neck. Like, if he sneezes, the guy is dead. I think just like this type of character Bill Murray is playing in lesser hands could be really annoying, irritating, stupid. And Dan Aykroyd is talented, but the way he played it in Caddyshack 2 is how you play that character in such a wrong way. It's right on his neck. Jesus. When you die on your deathbed, you'll receive total consciousness. So I got that going for me. And in the way he plays it, it's like he just is the character. He's not just acting. Like he really was this person. I remember not minding this guy. In fact, I almost remember thinking I kind of wish this guy was the lead instead of Michael O'Keefe. Not that I have a big issue with Michael O'Keefe, but I remember liking this guy a little bit more. I don't know what his name is, though. Is it Scott Columby? Oh, is that... Oh, he was in the Porky's films. Okay. Yeah, this guy was in the Porky's movies. $0.50 for Coke, I mean, that'd be a great deal nowadays. Yeah, 50 cents for Coke would be a great deal nowadays. mean, man, that's a steal, 50 cents for that. I mean, hell, if I bought this by itself, it'd be like $1.25, if that. Especially if you're at an airport or something. Well, at an airport, this would be like $3. But to be fair, Michael O'Keefe does fine for what he needs to do. What the hell? Like, you need help? Like, you guys need help? You gotta jump them? Oh, is that the same guy who was talking to Bill Murray? Or not? Night Riders. Interesting t-shirt. Interesting he put his damn lollipop back in his mouth, even with his nose bleeding. You want to wipe that thing, you know? Just saying. There you go. Now magically a tissue appeared in his hand. Where'd that tissue come from? So now we get into the thrust of the plot, where this guy's going to try to get this scholarship. And pretty much other than that plot, it's just the rich versus the slobs. That's kind of the simple plot that you could describe it. Snobs versus slobs, I think is the better way to put it. Yeah, the snobby people, the rich people, like Ted Knight here, who's on the Mary Tyler Moore show. You have that character, and then you have Rodney Dangerfield, who is the slob, but while he may be a slob, he's much more fun, he's much more good-hearted, he's much more fun to be around, while the snob is, yes, sophisticated and clean, but much more of a dick, much more of a just outright terrible person. Who's that kid who plays the son? Yeah, I'm bad with these names. So the further showcase how much of a piece of crap he is, that stupid joke he tells about what is it, the Jew and the blah, blah, blah. There's Ronnie with the Rainbow Connection outfit. I think Rodney, he was like trying to be a comedian for a while, and the thing with Rodney is he found success fairly late in his life, I believe, in the stand-up circuit. And then they got him in the movies. Buy this hat, you get a free bowl of soup. I mean, Rodney's energy is just very infectious, and always liked Rodney Dangerfield. And he had a couple hits. I mean, you had this film, of course, Easy Money, which was fun with him and Joe Pesci. And then you had, what was it? Of course, Back to School. Back to School. Kid, that bed is bigger than you. That's what you do for being prideful. You don't break your back. Damn. Her shirt's ready to break. Jesus. Like, those nipples are ready to just pierce right through the shirt. See, you can't do that nowadays. Just be labeled sexist. It'd be labeled whatever the hell labels they put on it. Yes, guys love women, and they love beautiful women. I know. Shame on us. Just like there's a lot of action movies where guys take their shirts off for the women. I mean... Where's your head, buddy? Take your time. And you sliced. And they try to do this thing in the sequel as well, where you have the golf stuff, but yet he's a bit more high tech. What was it? It was like using lasers or something in the sequel, and it just looked a lot dumber. Here, okay, this kind of cool thing. He has a button, and it just pops up. He just grabs it. Like, that one seems... Well, it's stupid to say realistic. It's not like the golfer stuff in this is realistic, but it just seems a bit more practical of, hey... Like, you just see that someone who is like Ronnie... Four, I should... Yeah. I can't help it. Anytime well, not anytime, but when I see Ronnie do that, actually hit the guy in the balls, I just think of that Simpsons. About the award, I think it's the one with the critic, and the film that won is Man getting hit by football. It was like George C. Scott getting hit in the nuts. Roddy's dance is just so adorably, like I said, infectious. I just laugh with a smile when I see Roddy dance. It's a good song. Any way you like it, that's the way you need it. Any way you like it, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. I think, again, that's what made it work, is that you have, when you switch to another character, it's another interesting person and comedian to watch, and so you get at least some kind of entertainment, perhaps a different kind of entertainment. See the way he's like, okay, we're playing for keeps out. Okay. See, it's that kind of behavior that he puts that makes the scenes work. Although, yes, it's obviously a puppet. But, I mean, it's kind of goofy and charming. And this weird ass thing. It's interesting when you watch stuff like this, like, who's the person that has to go to each of these shirts and put specific sweat stains on it? Because it's like, and that little detail, it's like they could have just ignored it and go, nah, don't worry about it. But it's like, no, like with some of these stuff, like put some sweat, unless they were real sweat stains. Maybe that's I'm giving it too much credit. Maybe that guy just had real sweat stains, and that's just how it was. There's the sweat stain in the middle of Rodney's shirt. Again, that could be like a real thing. Like it really was, or maybe someone put it on there. Of course, sweat stain goes right to his crotch. Oh, what a nice girl. That seemed to be a trope that happened a lot in these older movies where you have the guy, like, you have this girl who clearly likes him, they even kissed, but then he'll try to go for the more, quote, hotter lady. But then it's like, no, the person. I can't remember. That might not be this one. Doesn't Chevy Chase go for that lady I'm thinking of? But I just, like, there's other movies where you're with this good girl, but you don't go for this quote hotter girl. I'm like, no, the good girl usually is hotter to me than the person they're going for. But I gotta say, it's definitely tough to make golf exciting because I do think it's one of the most boring sports ever. Perhaps the most boring sport. I can't think of another more boring sport, to be honest. And like the two best golf films, I would say, is Caddyshack and Happy Gilmore. I'd probably say I like Happy Gilmore more, but that could be for nostalgia because I saw Happy Gilmore first, like before this, and I grew up more with that film. I watched that more times as a kid. Caddyshack I saw later in life. I would say probably when I was in my early 20s. While Happy Gilmore I saw when it came out on VHS around 96 or so. I forget what year I saw on VHS, but just obviously it takes a while for a film to get to VHS after it came out of the theater, and you think about how rich this guy is and don't give these crappy tips. Yeah, each time I see Bill Murray and the sort of accent he's given out, it just, I don't know why, it just makes me laugh. That's the sad thing about Bill Murray, though, is that if you were to ask me my top favorite comedians of all time in terms of movies, Bill Murray would be very much up there, along with Eddie Murphy and a few others. Like the comedians I grew up with, movie wise, Eddie Murphy and Bill Murray were like two of the tops. Like people ask my favorite comedian, I would say Richard Pryor because I love his stand up. And I love films like See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and even like The Toy I liked, and Stir Crazy I liked. So yeah, Richard Pryor would be up there too. But movie wise, like Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child, Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, 48 Hours, even another 48 Hours, and Metro. And Bill Murray is like, okay, Caddyshack, and then Meatballs. I think that's a fun one. Stripes, I love Stripes. Stripes to me is a hilarious movie. I adore Stripes. Let's see. Which my friend Fabio, who was in the military, says Stripes is pretty much a documentary. Which is scary, but that's not the first time I've heard that. And yeah, Meatballs. Was Meatballs before or after this? I'm trying to think. Meatballs might have been before this? Does it think Meatballs was 79 or so? Can't remember. But yeah, Meatballs and this were fun. Again, Stripes was great. Then Ghostbusters was a classic. Love Ghostbusters. One of my favorite comedies. Like my top 10 comedies, I think Ghostbusters have to be in there. So after that, he wanted to do this film called The Razor's Edge. And he did. And it was a very personal film to him. It was a very serious film for him. And it didn't do well. Not only did it not do well, but it got panned and flopped at the box office. And Bill Murray took that to heart. He took that very, very on the cheek. That he did not do a film for 4 years he didn't do a film. The only thing he did from 1984 to 1988 was a cameo in Little Shop of Horrors. That's all. And he might have done a cameo in another thing, but that's it. You gotta think, after Ghostbusters, you're one of the big comedy stars. There's so many films you could have done, and you decide to sit out for 4 years. And in fact, because of his behavior and his quirky weirdness of not answering people's phone, the phone, all that stuff, there'd be jobs he lost. Like, he lost the job for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because they wanted Bill Murray for the Bob Hoskins role. I think they wanted Bill Murray and then Eddie Murphy. Bill Murray didn't answer back, and I remember him being pissed. I'm like, well, that's your fault. Eddie Murphy said no, because he didn't understand it, and then he saw the film, he kicked himself. And then in 1988, he did Scrooged, which I think is a very fun film, although he did not get along with Richard Donner, and vice versa. But I don't know how that film did. I thought it did okay at the box office. I could be wrong, but I liked Scrooged. And then Ghostbusters 2, which I think is a fun sequel. It did well at the box office, but I know people who made the film, they didn't seem too happy with it, but I like Ghostbusters 2. And then again in the 90s, you had Groundhog Day, and you had other films of that nature. But it's sad that has a history of being a prick, history of being a dickhead. what he did to Harold Ramis for years and years and years, giving him the cold treatment, the cold shoulder treatment. Last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook in it. And yeah, you have three distinct comedians. You have Chevy Chase, Bill, and Rodney, who have their own certain brand of comedy in it. Going to bullfights on acid. Jesus. Have fun with that. Tie you up, Jesus. Bill Murray. Freeze gopher. This, I know it's not him, but this kid reminds me of Jason Dedrick from Iron Eagle. I know it's not him, but it's like almost looks like him. But there you go. See, that's, yeah, that dancing yet again. And that's right, it reminds me that Rodney did do a Simpsons episode because they were. Trying to think. Yeah, they did have a reference to Caddyshack, now that I think about it, in that Simpsons episode. Because you find out he was the son of Mr. Burns, or at least, if not, was his son, or at least related to Mr. Burns in some way. Does Bill watch it again? Slab your head high still. You fussy little foreigner. Oh, is this where he does the na 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 na? Yep. Okay. I was wondering. This is okay. This is when he did the na 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 na. Pretty good. Got most of them. So I'm looking through the filmographies, like Chevy Chase. He did Foul Play, which I think did that. Yeah, that was a big hit. Foul Play in 1978. Then he did Oh Heavenly Dog, which was a movie with Benji. But they did this film, which was a hit. Seems like Old Times, that might have been a hit as well. The National Lampoon's Vacation, Fletch, there's a Spies Like Us, Three Amigos. Let's see, Funny Farm. Well, it cost 19, made 25 million, so it wasn't a huge hit or anything. But I think Fletch Lives was, yeah. 8 million, made 39 million worldwide. I don't know how much made in the US. Yeah, but when he got in the 90s, I mean, look at this. Nothing But Trouble, which I enjoy, but that film bombed. But I like Nothing But Trouble. It's a weird kind of comedic. Like if Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was less gory and much more comedic. Like I agree with Nothing But Trouble, but that film was bombed and got completely bashed. Memoirs of Invisible Man. Chevy Chase wanted to be more of a drama thriller, and that's why he got John Carpenter. And John Carpenter said probably the worst actor he ever worked with was Chevy Chase. Like, yeah, he did not like working with Chevy Chase, and I mean that's par for the course. A lot of people didn't. And Memories of Invisible Man, there's some good elements to it, but I'm not a fan of the movie. Cops and Robertsons, I mean, this kind of fun because I like Jack Palance and him and Chevy Chase, but that film bombed. That did nothing. So it didn't. He was just making bomb after bomb. Nothing But Trouble, Memories of Invisible Man, Cops and Robertsons, Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Didn't really do a whole lot. That's why he had to go try to do a vacation movie. And I don't think that film did that well either. And that's why you saw a lot less of him. You know, doing films like Funny Money or cameos in films like Hot Tub Time Machine. That's why he's in films like, was it Zombie Town, which him and Dan Aykroyd have a cameo in. I know he's on that TV show Community, but apparently he was a complete, utter dick on that show. And pretty much everybody hated him because he was so, to use the word, toxic on that set. And just treat everyone like shit. I'm like, dude, you haven't been relevant since the 80s, to be honest. He was a big star in the 80s, don't get me wrong, but... Oh yeah, the chocolate bar, of course, is where you get the chocolate bar stuff, and people think it's, you know, shit. It's a Snickers bar, I think. Because yeah, then Bill Murray finds it and he bites it, and people, oh, but you know, it's a Snickers bar. Goofy antics in the pool before that happens. But you know, you have a girl stealing a guy's pants, so showing the guy's ass. So there you go. Equal opportunities. I never go into public pools because you never know what those people brought with them into that pool that you could be swimming next to or touching the floor on, and your feet will then be a bunch of fungi nestling in there, and you know, people, you pissed in the pool or did something else in the pool, and you know, you just never know what they brought it. That's why, again, I never go into public pools. Never do. So again, this still has a little bit of that trope where, oh, here's the hot lady, and even though you have a girlfriend, I'm like, the girl you have looks good too. And it's less of a tease, so. But that happened a lot in these type of movies. That's another thing, a trope where you'll have people play older than they're supposed to, like if they're in school, but they're really like 25 or 22 or 24, and people joke about that. But if you think about it, it makes sense because a lot of high schoolers, they would be underage. But do you want to see underage people kissing and fondling? And I mean, that's illegal. You know, they're underage. Plus, it's like, I don't want to see that because I'm not Hollywood. I'm not that much of a pervert and sicko. So, yeah, think about that. And so it makes sense to cast older, unless you're Don Mancini, doing chutty TV shows where 10-year-olds kiss each other and make out. Because Don Mancini has a weird fetish. I forgot about this, the whole synchronized swimming thing. I completely forgot about all that. Completely forgot that was a thing. I think coming up, oh, ooh. Oh, yeah, I break up the slow-mo here. But that's proper slow-mo. So, oh, Baby Ruth. Okay, it was not Snickers. It was a Baby Ruth. God, it's been forever since I've had a Baby Ruth. Yeah, duty. Well, I mean, to be fair, if I saw that and you don't know what it is, I'd be freaked out too, and I'd want to leave. Oh, they'd be like, man, well, yeah. Oh, there's nipples. There you go. You got some titties there. That's another thing you don't see a lot in movies. You don't see a lot of titties, a lot of breasts in movies. At least the ones I've seen of new ones. There's not a lot of breasts. I'm trying to think, what was the last film to go into theaters that had titties in them? I can't think of any. Probably I'm so depressed I spilled on myself. Because my mouth was like... My mouth was so depressed. But yeah, you have going to Rodney Dangerfield. I was going to look at his filmography. Oh wait, yeah, this is where he finds the Baby Ruth. Before I do that, yeah, I haven't had Baby Ruth in forever, man. I mean, forever. Do they still make Baby Ruth? So I have to find one and have one again. It's been years and years since I've had a Baby Ruth. Again, I don't know if they still make them. I would assume yes, they do. Just when I've been to the store, that never pops up is usually Hershey's, Skittles, which I love Skittles, Kit Kat, maybe Butterfinger. I have to make a mental note to see if they have any Baby Ruth in there. But yeah, I know we're on a Chevy Chase scene, but I want to look at Rodney Dangerfield. Let's see. He had done films before. He was in a film called The Projectionist in 1970. But he didn't do a film for 9 years until Caddyshack. And then that led to Easy Money, which is a fun one with him and Joe Pesci. And that made a little bit of money. $29 million. That was 83. And then you had Back to School. That was a big hit, Back to School. I forgot he had a cameo in Moving with Richard Pryor. That's a film I like. But it's weird, from 86 to 91, he didn't star in a film. That's weird. It's like these 3 year or more, like from Caddyshack to Easy Money, 3 years. From Easy Money to Back to School, 3 years. From Back to School to Rodney Dangerfield, 5 years. And it was an animated film, Rover Dangerfield, which I might have seen that, and I forgot what my thoughts were on that. They had Ladybugs, which I was not a fan of. I know some people like that film. I was not a fan of Ladybugs. I don't think that film did that well. I remember there being some weird, questionable things, like with the Jonathan Brandis, like pretend to be a girl, like some weird stuff with that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember going, it seems really weird and sketchy. That maybe they didn't mean for it, but it just comes off that way. And yeah, that film flopped. And I think that's the thing, is really by this point of Ladybugs, I don't think Rover Dangerfield did anything. So, like, Back to School was kind of his last hurrah. Unless you want to count his weird, crazy cameo in Natural Born Killers, which, I mean, showed a different side of him. You had a fun little cameo in Casper. Then you had films like Meet Wally Sparks, My Five Wives, The Fourth Tenor. You know, just these direct-to-video stuff that, well, Meet Wally Sparks, I think, actually went into theaters. And I don't think I saw that one, to be fair. So yeah, it did go into theaters. January 1997. So to be fair, I didn't see that. I didn't see My Five Wives. I didn't see The Fourth Tenor. If I did, then I completely forgot about it. And then after that is Angels with Angels, where he played God. And The Onion Movie. I remember seeing The Onion Movie. He was in that? Yeah, maybe he was. I do remember liking The Onion Movie. I do actually remember liking that film for what it is. Like, it's definitely better than... what was that one movie? Movie 50... I forgot what that... The one with movie 43, the one with Hugh Jackman and the balls and on his chin. So that's the thing. You look at his career. He didn't do a lot of. I mean, he did movies, but I would say this and Back to School are the ones people remember. Maybe someone like me, Easy Money, but yeah, compared to other guys, he doesn't have a lot that you would deem classic movies, which is too bad. Yeah, and when older people try to sound hip and shake your booty, I'm like, if you say so. I don't know why I don't know why Michael O'Keefe for some reason reminds me a bit of like a young William Catt. I don't know why. Like Eddie second now is going to be the greatest American hero. I don't know why I think that. So I like to look up Bill Murray's filmography. Because again, like Meatballs, yeah, was 79. Where the Buffalo Roam, I do like. He plays Hunter S. Thompson, which Johnny Depp would play that in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But I, Where the Buffalo Roam, I thought was funny. But I'm alone in that. A lot of people didn't like that film. It didn't do well. But this film did. 81 Stripes, that was a huge film. Tootsie, forgot about Tootsie. Yeah, that was huge. Then Ghostbusters. But yeah, he did The Razor's Edge, and he was just really upset that didn't do well. So for 4 years, cameo in Little Shop of Horrors, and she's having a baby. He did Scrooge, Ghostbusters 2, Quick Change, which I know he was partial to that. That didn't do well. But then he did What About Bob? That was a hit. That's a fun one. Groundhog Day, I think is one of his best. That was a hit. Ed Wood, Space Jam. The film flopped, but I liked Larger Than Life. I mean, no, Space Jam was a hit. I'm talking about Larger Than Life was a flop. But I liked the film. I thought it was a fun movie. For a family kids film, that was entertaining. And The Man Who Knew Too Little, I liked it. It was a one-trick pony that lasted maybe a bit longer than it needed. Just a guy that never finds out what's really going on. And that's consistent throughout the entire movie. But I liked it for what it was. But that was another flop. And that's when he tried to do different things. So, Wild Things, Rushmore, The Royal Tenenbaums, Lost in Translation, which I like that movie. That's a good one. And then got more serious roles like Get Low, The Grand Budapest Hotel. I would say the last film he did that I did not mind was St. Vincent. St. Vincent I thought was a good one. That was 2014, so that was 10 years ago. Because he has a cameo in Dumb and Dumber 2. He's a guy wearing the Breaking Bad type of suit. So he shares a scene with Jim Carrey, it's just that he's in a suit. And he was in films like Ghostbusters, that cameo in 2016, which I hated, that movie. The Bill Murray Stories, Life Lessons Learned from Mythical Man. I've never seen that one. That's a documentary. The Dead Don't Die is one of the most boring zombie films. I guess he was in The Greatest Beer Run Ever as the Colonel. Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I guess he's got a couple films coming up, including a Wes Anderson film, because he worked with Wes Anderson a lot. Phoenician Steam, something called Riff Raff, with Jennifer Coolidge, Gabrielle Union, Pete Davidson, and then The Friend with Naomi Watts. One's a drama, one's a crime comedy, and one's adventure film. So, yeah, I can't say I really care one way or another. So yeah, my first instinct was right. He does do that trope. I was saying before, where the guy, even though he's got a girlfriend who's nice, he goes for the other girl. Because I'm like, well, wait a minute, was that in this? Because they didn't. Chevy Chase went for her. But no, my first instinct was right. Why I didn't go with it, I don't know. Well, so much for your scholarship now. So sorry I've been looking at the actors' filmography and less about the film. But I mean, it just... A lot of these actors, I mean, they got a good history, and that is a big reason why this film worked. Is because those three guys. There's Bill Murray now killing the flowers with the golf club. Like the thing he does with his lip, like... To the host. I got all that. Crouch down feet. No reason for the crowd. For the line, Cinderella. About 350 yards. What you think? Yeah, beautiful bet. Oh, we got all that one. Oh, yeah. Every previous day the crowd go wild. It's the Cinderella boy. I wonder if this is like, if they found these flowers, they went, well, what if you... It's in the hole. It's in the hole. Now, again, he's the groundskeeper, so he also has to be a caddy, too. Oh, yeah, this guy has, like, the perfect game. Like, the completely perfect game, and then he dies. I like this choice of music they put on it, like, this kind of sweet... like, almost angelic music of just how perfect this is for, you know... That he has, like, the best perfect game. The guy's like, oh, are you sure? You sure about that? Even Bill Murray's like, maybe something's going wrong with this. Maybe we got frogs coming out. Is that like close to the end of some of the plagues from the Bible? Is the frogs? Again, the movie's like this historical epic, Ben-Hur type. And he's dead. He just runs away. He just runs off like. And granted, that's a scene you could cut out, and it wouldn't affect the plot or anything. But that is a pretty fun scene. So that is enjoyable. So I do like it. And here's a guy, you're ready to cheat on this girl who you guys kissed, and again, that seems to be a common trope, is that this girl who likes you, treats you well, you ignore her, you don't care about her feelings, you do whatever, and then you gotta go for the 10, the 10 out of 10. Then you realize that's not really the right girl because of her personality, or she's a snob, or she's all this other stuff, and then realizes he had the girl right there all alone. It is crazy seeing Brown Dome Murray. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but just so thin in this. Because I always think of Brown Dome Murray as a bigger guy because of the stuff like in Groundhog Day and other films. And hey, idea. We all, life goes and some of us do get bigger. I don't even know why you even go in this office when you know what happened. Why even try? I mean, Ted Knight knows how to play a good asshole. He knows how to play that well. I'll be right back. Alright, so I had to get something done real quick, but I'm paused at 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 32 seconds. 3, 2, 1, press play now. Now, I don't know why this kid would want to trust Ted Knight on anything he says. Like, he doesn't think he's going to screw you over. Like, come on now, man. But of course, I mean, it's supposed to be our main character goes through temptation, and while going through temptation, realizes that he doesn't really need this as much as he thinks he does. Yeah, make you deal with the devil. A Fresca. Do they even make Fresca anymore? I don't even know what Fresca would taste like. He definitely seems drunk as hell shit. This place sucks. I just noticed that Chevy goes for the one guy who wasn't part of the fight and just put him a. I probably. I don't know if. Maybe before I was watching Rodney and the other guy, I didn't notice Chevy just. He just messing with this guy who has nothing to do with it. Put him in damn headlock, sleeper hold. This is a bit with Chevy and Rodney in the same frame. What's this girl's problem? Is she on acid? I mean, if she's supposed to be if she's pregnant, she better not be on acid. But I mean, they feature a lot of that in these type of movies where you have to have two young people and a little bit of a romance because they figure that's what part of the winning formula of these movies, these type of movies, is to have some type of love story. I don't think every single one of them needs a love story, but that seems to be their almost if they have analytics of well, this is how they make a successful film. This needs to be an ingredient. So I'm listening to the dialogue with what Chevy's going to say to this. Okay, I thought it was going to be more than he just, my dad never liked you. I thought it was going to be much more stinging, much more stuff to his dialogue, okay. I wonder where the hell he got all these explosives. Plastique. I mean, you just order them from a magazine or something? I just seems like Bill Murray early on when he's getting into movies, he's a bit more open to being more playful, more open to doing things. But then the more successful you get, the more it goes to your head, the more he's kind of stuck in his ways. Although I guess like nowadays he seems like willing to do whatever, because how long he would complain about Ghostbusters 2, but then Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and now he's willing to talk about these older movies and do all this other stuff. It's like, I don't know, did he realize that people hated him, or how he's, I don't know. Chevy and Bill. But apparently, during this scene, both remain professional, despite, their past. So I don't know if later on how they felt about each other, but I guess the idea was that when Chevy was on Saturday Night Live, people, oh, he's bigger than the show, and the show's beneath him, and then people took exception to that, and then Bill was kind of almost like chosen to go up and confront the guy, and people will say about you as far as you know, yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of like two boxers, two heavyweights going toe to toe with each other to see who's better, who's tougher, who's stronger. In this case, who's funnier. And just like who, I would say, I guess in the long run, Bill Murray was more successful because like Chevy had hits like National Lampoon's Vacation, while Bill had Ghostbusters, and that was a bigger hit. But then you had he had Fletch, Bill had films like Stripes. But you got into the '90s, at least Bill had What About Bob, Groundhog Day, and then his drama. Like Chevy wanted to do more drama and Memoirs of Invisible Man. It didn't work the best for him, but for Bill, Rushmore, Lost in Translation, Get a Boat Coming, Get a Boat Coming. Cut the get his hamstring. So I'm just enjoying the scene. Probably would be my favorite scene in the movie, is this bit between the two of them. And yeah, I mean, it's the only time, but thank good they had the idea to at least get that scene in there. It's sad you didn't have any with Bill and Rodney together. There's never seen Bill Murray and Rodney Dangerfield share. I mean, at least there's some bits with Rodney and Chevy, but it's too bad Rodney and Bill never had a scene together. What can you do? So yeah, I guess the idea is that now Chevy hurt his hand, so now gotta find a replacement. That's where our lead character is going to come into play. Because we've seen how good Chevy is, and we know how he could easily beat it. Or is he doing this just to give the kid more of a... No, he's still... his hand still hurts. So... Oh, of course, yeah, he's with the guy because he wants his damn scholarship. So now you get to the third act, the golf exchange, the golf game. Which idea? It's tough to make this exciting. It's tough to make this exhilarating because I know I don't know what it is with celebrities and golf. Like so many celebrities will talk about how they love playing golf or they like playing golf or I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's so slow and boring. It's like they just walk and like has the least amount of I don't know. But so many times you hear celebrities, oh I love golf or I go play golf or it's rarely there's like, oh I play basketball or I play anything else but it's golf. Like even just tennis, just say you play tennis or something, like something different than just damn golf. I don't know why everybody plays golf. Probably because you ride a golf cart, you stand for a bit, you hit a ball, you ride a golf cart. So I guess just quiet and not a lot of exertion. I mean, other than swinging, of course, but you know, again, compared to other sports. But like I say, it's tough to do this kind of thing and make it exciting because you have to turn again what I think is a boring as hell sport and make it fun for the viewer. So let's have consistent amount of edits, stuff like this where completely mess with them. Well, the grass went further than the ball. So Chevy's doing good. It's just Ronnie don't know what he's doing. Yeah, you're not good. I think it has that good deadpan quality to it. If you don't pick your nose, at least go to the bathroom and do it or something. God damn, not out in public. And why would he ever eat it? I mean, but I mean that's the point. This guy's such a complete dumbass. I mean, I guess at least you just say the gopher stuff does play an important part to the story. That because of all this, it gives the big win at the end. I wonder what the idea was behind the gopher in the first place. Like, I wonder like who came up with it, what their idea about it was, what they were going for. Yeah, I would be curious as to what their initial thought process was in doing the gopher stuff. Was it some kind of mandate? Was it something they just saw in some other, I don't know. It's broken. It's broken. My arm is broken. Then you have the. Yeah, I forgot about this, that they substitute Rodney's character. Just, like, it's been a while since I see it. I'm like, oh, they don't substitute Chevy's character, and that's why he hurt his finger, he hurt his hand. Oh, he hurt his hand because, oh, he can't play, then I forgot about that. That's the decision. What are you going to do? And that's where our lead character gets out of the deal with the devil. Bit of redemption. I mean, I give credit to people who are. It's a hell of a catch, bird. Hell you going? Yep, in Haiti. Pretty good. Not bad at all. And yeah, I think like shots like those, you know, so are they going to start showing that maybe the other terror, you know, tries to bite off like it's a damn grenade, but it's like, well, you didn't have to do that, but bring a little bit extra motif to that. See, I think they try to show that, okay, if Ted and 9 of them were doing so much better, well, now that this other guy is substituted, now show them like screwing up a bit, so you can understand like how they got more even playing field. So you see the Michael, O'Keefe, he's playing very well, even if Chevy's not doing the best. But you see the other guys, they're not playing as well. So okay, that's why now they're getting a bit more of an even score. There's always got to be an even score when you get to the end here. I mean, if it was a total blowout where, well, yeah, if this guy completely screws up and completely mishandle it, then they would lose. I think he makes his putt, right? Because I remember this reaction that he has. Yeah. Yeah, this is the reaction. And yeah, this gopher plot's going to have a big point in the story. Here you go. Come on, Chevy, do ya na 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 na. Come on, do ya na 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 na. Be the hero now. Come on, Chevy. Be the hero. Ah, you fucked up. You lost. Simple putt. Come on, man. I'd probably say the golf stuff is the less interesting part of the film. I thought... like, Chevy's... his dialogue is the best part of it. I would say Happy Gilmore made the golfing scenes probably a bit more exciting. And that you did see, you know, Shooter McGavin screwing up and doing bad things. That night's just deliciously evil. We're waiting. Yeah, sure. Put more pressure on the guy. There ain't enough pressure as is, right? And sure, no pressure. No pressure at all. I mean, technically he didn't make it, but then, of course, in the explosion makes it fall in. Which, I mean, I don't know if that should count, but, I mean... good job, buddy. You fucked up. You failed. So he's really a failure. I mean, technically this shouldn't count because it had nothing to do with him. Like, he didn't make the ball, and I think there was enough time to showcase he didn't make the ball. But, you know, it's a movie. Blew the hell out of the damn thing. Why are you celebrating? You didn't make the shot. You don't deserve the celebration. You didn't make the damn shot. You failed. Bill Murray deserves a celebration. He's the reason you won. The only reason you won was because of Bill Murray. The only reason. Almost as if the idea is that he's hearing the song and then dancing to it. And that's Caddyshack for you. So again, I do like the film. Again, the whole golfing stuff in the third act is kind of, like I said, I thought Happy Gilmore did that a bit better, where number one, it showed how Shooter McGavin was screwing up and like showed them on an even playing field. And then Happy does make the final shot. It's a crazy shot. It's ridiculous. This is a comedy, but he still makes the shot. So it's like, okay, he deserved the win. It's like, well, that guy screwed up. He didn't deserve to win. He didn't win. So I know it's a movie. It's a stupid comedy. But like I said, the third act, the only bits I liked was the Chevy Chase's banter. Again, O'Keefe is okay. He's fine. He does fine. That's all I'll say. He does fine. He's not bad or anything. But he's not as interesting as, of course, the other characters. Good soundtrack, Any Way You Want It by Journey. The Kenny Loggins song, I'm Alright. Like I said, good. Those three to me really make the film work tremendously. And Ted Knight's a good villain, good foil. Has some great reactions throughout the movie. Like I said, I would say like Bill Murray, I would put Stripes above this. I would put Ghostbusters above this. Groundhog Day. Like Chevy Chase, I probably would put National Lampoon's Vacation above this. I would put... maybe I put Fletch above... I mean, I like the film. I think just because O'Keefe, I just think it's okay. And like the golf third act. Let's say Happy Gilmore did that fairly well. This was, it was there. The golfer stuff is kind of cute, but yeah, it is a bit weird seeing it, but it is kind of cute. But it definitely feels like a different film when that stuff appears. So I don't hate it. It's just like, okay, it's different. But Bill Murray's hilarious, so I'm fine with that if that means more of that Bill Murray character. So it's a fun film, Caddyshack. Definitely a fun film. And a lot better than because the sequel was awful. The sequel is absolutely terrible. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.